What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great today. This video is going to be part 2 of the Knoxville Auto Show. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'll put a card up above right about now. You can go check that out. That is just of the Chevrolet test drive event that happened outside of the convention center. Adding this part in would have made the video way too long, at least I think so anyway. So I decided to split it into 2 parts. So this is part 2. This is the indoor show with a lot of the latest models that were parked inside the convention center. We're gonna go check out those out today and see what these manufacturers have to offer. They've got some pretty cool stuff going on. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so after reviewing the clips for this video, I realized one slight problem inside the Knoxville Convention Center. Especially during these shows, they play music, copyrighted music, so I can't use any of my audio. So, in the interest of still doing this, it's going to be fully voiceovered. So, if you find voiceovers boring, I do apologize. Hopefully mine won't be too horrible. Anyways, hope you enjoy the voiceover version of the Inside Knox Auto Show of 2022. And starting off with the all-new 2022 Toyota Highlander. This is the Platinum, I do believe it says. It's hybrid, of course. Starting the price is about $54,000. They do start about $36,000, I believe it said. And just take a walk around the front of it here. This is a very nice updated version of the one we actually have in 2018, and I really do like this red color. My opinion is that all these automakers are just making better and better reds. If you get a look at this, we're going to step on the interior now. And here's your updated gauges to ours. You can see this one has all the hybrid components in it. Over here, big center infotainment screen, bigger than the one in ours and actually bigger than the one in lower models. As you can see on either side, you got the radio that you can tap and use on either side of the screen, which is pretty cool. Different array of features in there. Fairly responsive, not quite smartphone responsive, but still, if I had more time to play with it, I'm sure I would have figured out more of this. Anyway, there's a few more views of your features. There's your big map. And we'll go on down to the bottom. We have a nice wood grain finish around the cup holders, a couple of USB Type-C chargers. Here's the wireless charging pad in the center console, which is pretty neat. You can see my phone started charging there, and you can actually pick this thing up to access the space below it. On top of that, here's a button to turn it off if you don't feel like having it on. And watch me try to get my phone to light up to display this not charging anymore. Push the button again, wait a second, and it starts charging once again. And there it is. Up here, the digital rear view mirror that a lot of automakers have started adopting slowly. Much better way of doing things. Here you can see it's a regular mirror if you flip the switch, but if you don't like looking through the back seat headrest and whatnot, you get a camera instead. Much better way to see out the back. As you can see, there are people back there, and this is them in the mirror. And moving on to the back seat, here you have the rear zone climate control. There's a little digital display for it. Excuse the fact it's dark in this car. I don't have any portable lighting that I take with me, and the convention center does not light up the interior of cars very well. Anyhow, it does have the third row seat. It's about as tight as the one in our 18, as this is just really a heavily facelifted version of that car. Here we have a little bit of interior ambient lighting. This is blue, so I'm not sure it's ambient or if it's entrance exit, but it's there and it's blue. Nice door panels continue to the rear, and we have the pull-up sunshade just like in our 18. Very nice to have. Stepping back out, here's another view of that nice red paint as we move on to the rear of the car. You see it's a very stylish rear end. Taillights similar to ours, but a little bit thinner in design. Very sleek, very good, nice looking. Back up to the sticker, that says it starts at $38,000, my mistake. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine and a CVT, made it to a hybrid system, engine with 243 horsepower. Down here at the bottom we can see the fuel economy ratings of 35 city, 34 highway, 35 combined. So not terrible fuel economy for a vehicle of this size. Here we have the Highlander XSE, not to be confused with XLE, which is the trim model of our 18. Here we have a much more stylish, more sporty looking front end compared to the hybrid model we just looked at, and of course especially to our 2018 model. Coming around the side, very good looking car. It does have the 3.5-liter V6 just like ours, same horsepower of about 295 and 8-speed transmission. This is also all-wheel drive. Yes, some very stylish they look like 5 spokes, very stylish 20-inch wheels. And this special interior for the XSE that is a red and black combination, which is, I think, very good looking, very sporty. A little bit of contrasted red stitching on the console lid there and other areas of the car, like right there on the dash. Slightly smaller infotainment screen than you have in the hybrid version. Here we have a more standard gauge cluster as well, more closely resembling the one in our 18, although somewhat updated. As we move to the back of the car, the red and black theme continues into the second row. However, the third row is not appointed with this. Granted, you're probably going to hardly ever use the third row in a Highlander. We do still have rear zone climate control even in the XSE, and a couple of cup holders in between the seats, even though you can't see them in this light. Back up to the sticker. You're looking at this one as equipped right about $48,000. And here is the 2022 Toyota Tundra Limited Crew Max. Limited being the trim, Crew Max the cab size. Here's a look at the interior. Once again, love this red color that Toyota is using now. I'm not able to get into this particular truck. They had this one locked. Here's a look at the rear end styling. You can see the little backup lights down in the bumper, which is kind of odd, but it's what they chose to do. Hear me try to get into the bed, but even that is locked. There's a glimpse into that. Here we'll just take a walk down the driver's side, looking very similar to the passenger side, obviously. Going to the sticker, this one is priced at $55,000. They started about $36,000. Now, yes, Toyota has done away with the V8 iForce 5.7-liter engine. Obviously, no one who loved that engine likes it. Instead, there's a 3.5-liter V6 made into a 10-speed automatic transmission, 389 horsepower. Here we see our fuel economy ratings of 17 city, 22 highway, 19 combined. Once again, very nice looking truck. We walk over here to the TRD version of the truck, and right away you can see the nice TRD wheels on there. Walk around to the front grille. Very nice styling on these trucks. As you see on the bottom, it does have the LED fog lights integrated into the bottom of the grille. These can also be optioned with a light bar right below the Toyota logo, also in the grille. This one doesn't have it. In fact, I didn't see a Tundra at the show that had that option. I think these were the only two there. Here's a walk down the driver's side. Very nice looking truck in black. Has the blacked out badging as well, so that black on black look looking very good. Tonneau cover on the back. Have the LED light on next to the tailgate handle for visibility at night. Open up the tailgate, and inside the bed you do have some nice LED lights in there as well to see what's in the bed at nighttime. Very nice thing to see in there. Close up the tailgate. Of course, modern trucks, very easy, just a light click. Going down to the passenger side of the truck, once again, pretty stylish. And there is that front end again. We will climb into the interior now. Open the door up here and climb in and climb. There we go. I'm going to narrate myself doing things. I'm adjusting the seat back because every time I get into a car, someone short was in there before me. Adjusting the wheel to make it a little more comfortable. And we're going to put it into accessory mode, see if we can't play around with the accessories a little bit. As you can see, there's a very big touchscreen infotainment system in the center of the car. I'm trying to get it to respond right now. I think it takes a second for it to decide that it's ready to respond to your touches. And then there you go, very big. You got a lot of your options off to the left side there. I'm not really certain what I'm doing here. Anyway, there's your vehicle information, your different settings, music, and your nav. You get a big map on this screen. That's very nice to have, very good visibility. Down to the center console area, we have a nice sliding tray on the center console, and if we open this thing up completely, big deep center storage area with a USB-A and USB Type-C port in there as well. Here's our automatic shifter, nothing special there, but we do have a sliding switch for the four-wheel drive controls, which I've never seen before. Here's a looks like a wireless charging pad for your phone, and here I'm going to take my phone out of the case, which I did a few times at the show. to try to test this out. Yeah, nothing. Put it into ignition mode. There we go. Still nothing, but it does display a little bit more ambient lighting inside there, so you can see what you're doing at night. It is not a wireless charging pad. My phone would have responded by now, but it is a nice storage place to put your phone, which, you know, everybody needs in a modern car. Here is the 360 round view camera on the new, pretty much all the new Toyota models. It's kind of strange, where it's just this bubble that you can pause and you can play, but you can't drag it around and position it wherever you want, and what's in that bubble is all that it shows. All that it does show in real time what's around you. Still, it'd be nice if it was a little more controllable. Then it automatically just goes to this bird's eye view looking straight down at the truck. Now there's a function there to zoom in on what's around the truck, and of course it continues that little spinning motion right there. I can pause it, and there we're looking at the rear of the truck, which could be handy for hitching up a trailer, and push the play button again, and we go around to the front of the truck, and here we see where I've got the ignition mode, and the lights are shining on that display over there. It shows that in the camera, and you can see there's people walking around the truck. It's showing that in real time, like I said a minute ago. Let's go ahead and close out of that. And into the back seat now. The back seat of these Tundras, especially the Crew Max, very, very extremely roomy. Not bad at all, very comfortable. You do have the climate control in the rear, I believe it was, and some center storage. Pretty dark in there. It was too dark for me to tell, especially looking back over it for the voiceover. I've left the ignition in on mode, so we'll go around and look at the lighting. Here's the taillights all lit up, looking kind of cool. You do have your overhead cargo lighting on the rear of the cab. And going up front, we'll see the front end lighting style. Here's your LED headlights, your signals kind of vertically below that, and the integrated fog lamps up front. Very, very nice trucks. Just wish they were keeping the V8s. And here's the new Toyota GR Supra, or maybe we should call it the BMW Supra, or the Toyota Z4. Not really sure. There is a lot of BMW in this car, though. BMW and Toyota kind of teamed up on this one. You can see me trying to make the adjustments to prepare myself to try to sit in this car. It is kind of a tight fit, and you see me now. I'm going to try to squeeze into this thing. It's a tight car, and I am not a small individual. Hey, almost there. Almost there. There we go. It's pretty much as good as it's going to get. There we can see me filling out that driver compartment very well. The last time I went to a show and tried to get into one of these, I pretty much just gave up and didn't even try it. I thought I'd give it a try this time. Looking at the seats, we can see the nice bolsters in the seats, which I'm feeling very well at this point. Here we're trying to power up the controls. Not really happening. They don't have any power in this car. But you see the BMW-ness in this. That is the BMW shifter. A lot of other BMW controls in the center console. You do have some carbon fiber accents, which are really nice. Gauge cluster is actually pretty nice in these. I can't light it up, but maybe I'll find a picture to throw up there. Otherwise, just trying to power something up, but I don't think that's going to happen. Some of these cars that show they do have power, and some of them, I guess they've disconnected the battery. I guess this was one of them. Climbing out, a little bit easier than getting in, believe it or not. Over here to the sticker, we have the 3-liter twin-turbo inline 6 from BMW, but now 382 horsepower. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic. They do start at $43,000. This one, I believe, is equipped to almost $58,000. Just give another small walk around of the vehicle. Is the front end. Very nice there as well. Do like those wheels on these cars. And here is the rear end. You can see it's a very stylish rear end on that as well. Very tight car, but as far as I understand, very, very fun to drive. And now the big news from Ford, the all-new F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck. Now, if you feel like you recognize that nameplate, you probably do. It's from the previous SVT Lightning performance pickup truck that entered production in the early 2000s. Now, it wasn't allowed on the stand for this particular vehicle, so we're just going to give some specs as we walk around. They will all be crew cab, 5-passenger, 5.5-foot bed with a max payload of 2,000 pounds. Your front engine compartment is replaced by a front trunk, which can hold 400 of those 2,000 pounds. Very cool. It does have a towing capacity of 10,000 pounds. 2 battery options. Standard offers 426 horsepower, 775 pound-feet of torque, and a range of 230 miles. Extended battery will give you 563 horsepower, 775 foot-pound of torque, and a range of 300 miles. These are both front and rear motor, offering all-wheel drive, and also being the first F-150 to ever offer independent rear suspension, which of course is a very, very cool option. 0 to 60 time, 4.4 seconds roughly. Pricing for this should start around $40,000 to $41,000. In comparison, the new GMC Hummer EV pickup truck, first edition, or edition 1 as they're calling it, will start about $112,000. But their lowest trim will still start as high as $80,000, so double the price of this truck just to start. Rivian R1T, which we've not seen in production yet, starting around $67,000. Tesla Cybertruck, should it ever hit production, right around the same price of $39,000 to $40,000. Now, looking at the truck, the things I am able to point out here, we do see the reverse lights integrated into the tailgate, which is kind of an interesting choice by Ford. I've never seen anyone do that before. What I'm pointing at right now, behind this particular part of the tailgate, there are auxiliary reverse lights. So if you do have the tailgate down and you know you're in a reversing situation, you do still have lights, which is kind of neat. We see the blue lightning badge ahead of the taillight, signifying of course that this is the electric truck. And we have those nice 6-spoke wheels, which are very distinctive to this truck. Now once again, I wasn't able to get up on the platform, but you can probably see through the driver's window it does have a very large touchscreen infotainment, same as the Mustang Mach-E. Very, very cool truck, and I think the one that people will choose. And here's the other nameplate being revived by Ford now, the Maverick. No longer is it a small coupe from the 70s, now it is a compact pickup truck unibody. A few quick specs as we go around it. It is available in a few different configurations. You do have a 2-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine and front-wheel drive, giving you a combined fuel economy of 26 mpg. You can also get that configured with all-wheel drive at 25 combined, or step up to a 2.5-liter non-turbo but with a hybrid system, giving you 42 city, 37 combined. You do have a 4.5-foot bed in the back, so not very big, but you can see there is the Ford branded bed extender back there. 1,500 pound payload with this, 2,000 pound towing capacity unless you include the towing package, which will give you 4,000 pounds. Stepping into the interior, it is a cheap interior, but they made it to look very nice. You can see there's some interesting plastic inserts in the doors there, a bit of orange accents on the door pulls. Also looking at the seats, nice two-tone with orange accented stitching. Down here, more orange in the storage compartments ahead of the shifter dial. Very interesting, and more orange. They tried to include those orange accents to give it a little bit of style, obviously. Sitting in front of these isn't too bad. If you've ever sat in a small pickup truck, it's about what this is like. Kind of like sitting in a small car, really, because it's pretty much what it is, but a pickup truck. Once again, not bad looking in here. It's fairly decent to sit in. If we go to the rear, which I think is what we're doing right now, it is a little bit tighter, but it's all right. The seat may have not been in a great position for me to sit in the back. So in the original audio, I did kind of complain about it being a little too tight. Headroom is fine though, and with the right seat adjustment, I'm sure legroom is just fine as well. Not much to speak of in the back as far as charging. From looking at a video I saw before, it does only have a 12-volt round, like cigarette type thing. It doesn't have any USBs, which is kind of unfortunate for a 2022 vehicle, but it is what it is. Not a bad little truck. Now you do have the seat will pull down. There's some cup holders in the middle, and then the whole back seat actually will flip forward, and you've got some child seat anchors and stuff back there. Interesting cost cutting, not putting a panel back there, but you'll never see it. Here's another glimpse of the bed. Once again, not a very big bed, but it does have a couple small storage spaces in the sides, and it's not bad. It's a fairly stylish looking truck, much better than the competing Hyundai Santa Cruz, which looks a little less like a truck than this does. If you were interested in picking one of these up, they'll start around $20,000, and of course the further you go up with the options, obviously the more expensive they'll get. But for those looking for an affordable pickup truck that doesn't need anything big, Maybe you're in a city, maybe an apartment complex or something. Great little option. And here we have the big thing, and I do literally mean big, from Jeep, the new Grand Wagoneer. You can see a 6.4 liter V8 engine, sporting right around 471-ish horsepower. Here I am actually trying to check the spec sheet for that. But let's go take a step on the inside real quick, because this is it's a very nice car. So opening the door, very nice looking. I'm going to climb on the inside first, it looks like. But look at the door. We do have our seat adjustments up there like many luxury cars do. And I love the look of the speaker grills. That's very nice. Coming across here, I'm trying to start power to the car, which I do in all of them. Not happening in this one. But you see a very big, large center display, as well as a full digital gauge cluster and Grand Wagoneer on the steering wheel rather than Jeep. You'll actually find that Jeep is not present on this vehicle. This is the knob for, I believe, selecting the different transmission settings, park, reverse drive, all that. And there is your drive mode selector. I'm going to fidget with that a little bit more. Very nice center console. Now this is trimmed in, some metallic stripe looking deal. These can also be trimmed in wood, real wood. So this looks nice. The wood looks even nicer. Here we have a big center console with cooling capability, and it can also be optioned with a keypad lockout, which is a cool option. The nice striped theme continues across to the passenger side, and we have a display for the front passenger. Touchscreen that the front passenger can use to control multimedia, navigation, that sort of thing. Big panoramic sunroof, and here are your controls for everything up above the rearview mirror. And pointing at the rearview mirror for some reason. Come around to the back seat. Here we are the power deploying step boards. Very nice, very sturdy, hold me up very well. You can see on the door panel the theme continues to the back. Back at the center console, it's hard to see, but there is climate control settings back here. You do have a couple of USB ports, a 12 volt round port as well, and you also have a 115 volt household style outlet, so you can charge a multitude of devices back here, which is obviously very nice and expected in a car, especially at this price point. One more look again from the back seat at the large sunroof. Going to climb out now, turn around and try to put the second row seats down. However, they deploy electronically. No power to this vehicle, so not happening. But the third seat did appear to be pretty roomy. Hard to see in the terrible lighting in the convention center. I was able to see that there are a couple of USB charging ports on each side of the third row. Very nice, as well as its own separate small sunroof back there. So they did at least include the third row in the luxuries of this car. Going around to the back, you do have a typical size cargo area for a full-size 3-row SUV. Of course, if you put those third row seats down, you're going to have a lot more cargo space. Putting the rear hatch down now, and you can see even from the rear, this thing has quite a presence with Grand Wagoneer just written in big bold letters all the way across. Very nice taillight design on it as well. Just gives it a great presence on the road. Definitely lets people around you know that this is not just your normal Jeep. Look at the price sticker right now. This one was equipped up to $102,000. These ones start in the mid to upper $80,000 range. I think that one had a base MSRP of over $90,000. So very, very nice vehicles, but they're definitely not giving these things away. Very, very high-end Jeep. And speaking of high-end big news, this is the new Mercedes-Benz EQS electric sedan. Pretty much your electric S-Class. Pointing out here, this is actually where you put your washer fluid in, because there is no front trunk. This does not open. It's just purely mechanicals and electricals. Taking a walk around the car. Now this is the 4MATIC version, meaning it is all-wheel drive. It is also available in a non-all-wheel drive version. Here we see the EQS 580 in the new font that they're using for the electric Mercedes-Benz models. Taking a walk around this thing real quick. Couple of quick specs. These do come with either anywhere from 340 to 350 miles of range, 329 to 516 horsepower. Up here we do have a starting MSRP of $119,000 for the 4MATIC version. Your lower version, non-4MATIC, will start about $102,000. Here's the cool door handles. You kind of push on them and they pop out. You can pull them to open. And you see the frameless door, which is kind of a cool thing. Nice Burmester audio system in there. We can see the power seat adjustments on the door, as in all Mercedes. And here in the cockpit, we can see full digital gauge cluster screen, one of 3 screens in the front of this car. Of course, I'm trying to push power buttons and make things happen in here, but I think the car was probably in a demo mode. There are a couple of LEDs right there flashing. Don't mind those. Only the camera can pick those up. I think they're part of the driver assist system for partial self-driving. Nice control buttons on the steering wheel to control many things in both of the front and center screens. Here we have the big center infotainment screen. Once again, part of 3 screens that are inlaid behind this massive piano black panel that makes up most of the dash. Very, very cool look. I do quite like it. It is a bit glary, but that's what Mercedes has done. You see in the bottom of the infotainment screen, it does have climate controls, but they are, I believe, present at all times. So while not ideal, at least they're not hidden away. You can see there is also a massive map on the infotainment screen. I think that shows the full size of it. Very responsive to the touch. This thing actually responds quite quickly. Here's a home screen. You can see we got a bunch of different settings menus. Here's one for the vehicle settings. We'll go back out of that, I think. And you'll have to excuse me trying to follow along my voiceover. Here's your comfort settings. You get all kinds of different seat adjustments for heated and cooling and whatnot. Definitely a very nice system. Going in here, more settings. The passenger display is something that I wish I could have shown more of, but I just could not do it in the way the car was set up. It also only works with a passenger present in the seat, which is a kind of cool safety thing. Here in the center console, slide that back, you get a couple of cup holders and some USB Type-C charging ports. Open the rear part of the center console, you get more USB Type-C charging ports. You get some touch adjustments for your drive mode selector, your volume adjustment, power to your radio infotainment, and you see that kind of popped up a little thing up in there to tell which screens were active in that panel. Up above, here's some of your typical controls you're going to find in a lot of cars, and once again a big sunroof, as to be expected in a luxury car. I do like the climate control vents in these kind of turbine looking things. Very cool. They all kind of adjust from the center there. You have one of those on each side. And the center vents above the infotainment screen are your typical vents really, but they stop right about there. And the design continues into the passenger door panel, which makes for a really neat look. But then if you come over to the driver's side, it almost looks like that design cuts in behind the gauge cluster screen and continues over to the driver's side for a little bit of continuity. Very nice. Very, very nice. And climbing into the rear of the EQS now, you can see the nice luxury theme continues to the back on the doors. Talking about space in the back of the car, legroom, as you can see, is actually quite good. Headroom, I believe, was okay. If I had been any taller, maybe it would have been a little more difficult, but still a very nice car to be in. Here you have your overhead lighting controls. One button actually turns on just one side, and then the other button turns on the entire back seat, which is kind of cool. I played around with that for a second, and here I am again playing with it because I thought it was cool for some reason. Here we have another view of the big sunroof that you get in these luxury cars. Center console, flip down, you push the front of it once, you get what looks like a pen holder. Push it again, you get cup holders, and it all slides back in at once. We do have our climate control vents here, although I'm not seeing any controls for the climate. I'm hoping that maybe it is an option. At the price point, it kind of better be. Going around to the passenger side now, I wanted to get in and try out the passenger display, and sure enough, when I sat down and closed the door, you can see the little power button pop up at the bottom, and I hit that, and it's going to kind of wake it up a little bit. Now, I did try to play around with it, but you can see something's loading up there. Not sure what's going on there, so I'm not able to do anything else, but still really cool that a passenger gets their display. Also a nice safety feature that they have to be present for that to work. Very, very nice, much better passenger side experience. Headrest pillows are a thing in this car, and as you can see, puts me to sleep almost. Very, very comfortable car. This would be very nice for road trips. It's probably the most comfortable thing I've ever sat in personally. Looking at the window sticker, this particular car that I sat in was optioned to $124,000. This was the all-wheel drive 4MATIC version with 561 horsepower. Mercedes claims 0 to 60 on this car is 4.1 seconds. So a very quick luxury car as well. Very, very impressed by this vehicle. If I was in the market for a luxury sedan electric, I definitely would get one. However, I am definitely not. But another short look at the car real quick. Very, very nice vehicle. Another important thing to note about the EQS is the presence of rear axle steering. So you can get up to 10 degrees of rear axle steering to make it more stable at high speeds, and yet at low speeds and in tight cornering, the rear wheels actually turn in the opposite direction to make it more nimble in tight areas. Very, very cool. And although I'm sure we've seen them everywhere by now, I'm still going to show you anyway, the Mercedes G550, the G-Class, the G-Wagon. Unfortunately, this one was not the G63 AMG version, which would have been really cool. Still, I've always thought these were some of the absolute coolest looking SUVs on the road, although they are still Mercedes and they all are still ultra expensive. This is not a complete redesign. They did that a few years ago, and I'm sure it's probably due for a complete redesign soon. But I will say they come with the coolest door closing in the entire car industry. Right there. How satisfying is that? It doesn't get old. Climbing into the interior, it is starting to get a bit dated compared to some of the newer, more innovative Mercedes models coming out, such as the EQS, but still very nice. You do have your dual, I believe they're 12.5-inch screens, one for the gauge cluster and one for the infotainment system right here that kind of run together in one panel. Once again, a little bit starting to get a little bit outdated, but still very nice. Very nice steering wheel controls on each side for those. Burmester sound system again, always with high end in the Mercedes. Just a very nice interior as well, with this kind of brown color on black interior, which is very classy, very nice, and it's quite comfortable as well. I quite enjoy this vehicle. I'm going to climb out now, and of course I have to close the door again because why wouldn't I? Give that a second and click. I'm not going to use the actual audio but once, just because of the music playing in the background. Back seat, of course, you do have your climate control vents and controls back there, unlike the EQS we just saw. So yeah, I'm really once again hoping that EQS is at least optioned with those, as it should be. Here's the rear end of the G-Wagon again, and you do have a swing open rear gate, unlike most SUVs with a lift gate, and a fairly decent amount of cargo room. Back seats, I can only assume fold down. I believe they do it as an SUV, so you can get some stuff in the back of these as well. But most people probably aren't going to carry very much in these, except maybe shopping bags from outlet stores and whatnot, because people with money buy these things. But I do really like the rear end styling of this. It's, once again, not a complete redesign, but a nice update to the prior design. Another peek at the interior there from the driver's side point of view. Coming around the front, you can see in the engine bay, it is the 4-liter V8 engine, bi-turbo, that they use in pretty much all the Mercedes right now. You can see the turbos actually through the engine cover right there. Very, very cool car. I would love to drive one of these. And here's one of my absolute favorites from the show. Yeah, we've seen probably a million C8 Corvettes by now, but I couldn't not walk around this one. Here we have a brand new Corvette C8, likely 2022, maybe 21. But this is the convertible version, and just this orange and black color combination is, it is my absolute favorite spec on these cars. Quick points about the C8 Corvette for those who don't already know. It does have a mid-mounted, for the first time ever, mid-engine 6.2 liter LT2 V8 engine, creating 490 horsepower. Now that's already quite a bit, and keep in mind that there's a Z06 coming out soon with like 175 more, I think they said. It is mated to a dual clutch transmission. There is no manual option for the C8, unfortunately. Just an absolutely cool car. 0 to 60 in about 2.8 seconds, so very quick. Just absolutely cool car. I love looking at this thing. It's just so cool in this combination. And there was even a couple things for the lowers of the classic cars, and I'm one of those two here at the show. We have 65 Corvette here with a 502 big block V8 in it, 4-speed manual. Love this red color in this car. These are beautiful cars. Now this is not the split window, which would have been even more special, but still very nice car. Customized Ford coupe. I'm not good with the older ones. I want to say this is from the 40s. I'm sure somebody will let me know, but I love that hot rod Ford. And here's another very similar to the 65. I don't know if it was also 65 or not. Love that front plate there, the ticket getter. But once again, just a beautiful red V8 Chevy Corvette. And over here, an 88 35th Anniversary Edition C4 Corvette. Obviously not as nice as the 60s cars, but still, as far as C4s go, it's a very nice looking car. This has been very well taken care of. It's probably one of the nicest C4s I've seen personally, and I do like the wheels that are on it as well. Very nice wheels for the time. And if you're hoping to see some exotics, there were two at the show, actually featured in a booth by a company that does wrapping and protective coatings. Here we have a Lamborghini Huracan twin turboed in a matte gray. I don't know if it's paint or wrap, but very nice. Agent AF865 on Instagram. The owner, of course. Love that interior. Love the colors of that interior. Of course, you got the black wheels. The forged carbon wing on the back looks really cool. And there's that 5.2 liter V10 engine, twin turbocharged. Man, you know that thing's fast and sounds great. I've always liked the look of a Huracan. I think they're very good looking cars, and I'd love to experience one day. We'll see if that day ever comes. And on the other side of the booth, we had a McLaren 675 LT. Both of these cars were wrapped in an Expel coating, and that's why they were featured here. But also, just beautiful British supercar. McLarens, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an ugly McLaren. And in this color especially, it's absolutely gorgeous. With, of course, the black accents with the intake scoops and whatnot. You see that carbon fiber tub there, carbon fibers. And these things are just made of carbon fiber. They're so cool. And the doors, of course, add to the effect of the beauty. You get the black wheels set up against that orangish red body. It looks amazing. And back around to the front. I mean, just beautiful cars from every angle. Alright, and I think that is going to do it for the second half, the second video of the Knoxville Auto Show 2022 and the unfortunate voiceovers that I had to end up doing. Not gonna lie, that took forever between work and family and all this other crap, and then having to do the voiceovers and all this stuff. It did take a while, so I apologize for that, but here it is. Anyways, thanks you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Go subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow on social media, Facebook and Instagram at That Car Vlog channel. I don't post on those as much as I'd like, but it's always a good way to get notified, other than YouTube, of course, when a video does drop. Also, check the description for a link to a list of cars I'd be interested in reviewing and driving on the channel. Again, it's one of my main goals for this channel is to do car reviews. Hopefully I'll be able to do some more of those in the near future. I'm really hoping for that. If you have anything on that list or not that you'd be willing to let me review and drive, think it's interesting, hit me up on social media, let me know. I'll try to work something out. Anyways, once again, thanks y'all so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.